first of all, not only are you this new author, which we're going to talk all about, but you're also a new mama. So you got to tell us, how is motherhood?
It's beyond anything that anyone could have prepared me for. I am just over the moon. So many people, I would ask them, what is it that moment like when you give birth? And they would tell me. And of course, the second I gave birth, it was just like euphoric. And I want to relive that moment over and over again for the rest of my life. I'm just so happy.
I love it. And I mean, it also helps that Ocean is the cutest.
That I think I'm a little biased because I'm her mama, but I look at her and I'm like, you really are a beautiful baby.
So cute. You have to tell us, do you have a story behind the name? I mean, Ocean is just so cute and unique.
Thank you. You would think that name, because Randall and I are both obsessed with the ocean, that would have been like a name that we would have come up with on our own. But actually, we were in the Bahamas a few years ago before we were even pregnant. And I walked past a yacht named the Ocean Alexander and was like, oh my gosh, I have to name my firstborn Ocean. And we both agreed on that name, and we've had it in our pocket for years now. So it's so crazy to think the baby is here. Like, here's our little Ocean.
And she's so cute. And how is Randall? I know he's already a dad to 2 other girls, but he's definitely a girl dad now.
Oh yeah,
3.
He's a girl dad, and he's a great girl dad. I was so dead set on having a boy just because so many psychics had told me I was having a boy. And then that pink parachute came out during the gender reveal, and Randall was like, I have to be honest with you, I was very nervous it was going to be a boy because I don't know that I could keep up with a boy at the age of 50.
That is so funny. Well, I'm so happy that you guys seem just so happy.
We really are happy. And you know, it's an adjustment. His kids are 7 and 11. And the 7-year-old is obsessed with Ocean. The 11-year-old is still like, you know, she's in her tween phase. So she just wants to talk about boys and all those fun things. So that's what we do is I breastfeed. I'm like, how's the boyfriend today? Anything new? You know, it's fun. It's a completely new dynamic.
That is so fun. And I know you just recently posted about your dad and his birthday, and I can only imagine how proud he would be of you right now.
I like to think so. You know, he was proud of me when I was living in Utah and booking, like, you know, I'm booking car shows to like talk about the latest Toyota Corolla that came out, and he was proud of me for that. So I like to imagine him just looking down on me, being so excited and proud of me.
I mean, I don't know you or your dad, but I'm sitting there going like, yes, he would be so proud of you, because not only are you this mom and you have this beautiful baby girl, but now you're a book author.
I know, it's pretty crazy. I was reading the acknowledgments to my mom and the conclusion, just, you know, little pieces. And as I was reading, I got emotional thinking, this is my book. I'm a girl from Utah who would sit on her couch and dream about things like this. And now it's happening to me, and it doesn't quite seem real.
Well, it is real. So you need to tell us what we can expect. What can fans expect when they open this Give Me Lala book?
For fans, I'm hoping they'll be entertained. When I wrote the book, I was hoping people would be entertained, but for me, it was more about releasing a lot of things that I felt were defining me in my day-to-day life, and things that I felt were kind of weighing heavy on my heart and my mind. And I would walk into rooms and almost feel like I had a scarlet letter on me. So I think fans can expect, and just people who decide to pick up an easy read, if they're just like getting on an airplane or need something to read in the bath that, you know, is not super intense, they can expect to feel uncomfortable, because I talk about some very uncomfortable things in the book. I think you can expect to have some chuckles and some tears. And I think a lot of people will be able to relate to a lot of the stories that I tell in this book and feel a little less alone in their world.
Is that why you wanted to write this book? I know you just said You're going to tell some uncomfortable things. So obviously you're going to be very open. And
Yes.
we've always known you to be open on Vanderpump Rules. We know you, that's how you are. But
Right.
it kind of sounds like you're going to be even more open.
Yes, I definitely talk about things in this book that in general are uncomfortable conversations that have put, our society in difficult places. And when I was writing it, my publisher even said, "Are you sure you want to write about some of these things?" And I did ping pong back and forth. And finally it was like, no, we're writing about it. We're talking about it. I'm not the only person that's been through these things and who's letting these moments define her everyday life. So let's mention it all, in the words of Bethany Frankel, and let's get uncomfortable and feel scared for a second.
Do you feel a little bit liberated now?
I do. I feel super liberated. I feel like it was the biggest release that I've had in a really long time, because, I walk around with a very tough exterior, and I feel like finally I can say these things happen to me and I'm okay with it, and I'm done allowing myself to, even if people weren't really judging me, in my mind they were. And for the first time, it's like, whether they are or they are not, I really don't care anymore. I was pretending to not care before, I feel.
Right. I know, because we know you as that tough exterior, but I mean, that sounds, the goal in life, I feel like, is to be able to be like, there you go.
Right. And it's crazy that I'm doing this when I turn 30, because I've always heard that when a woman turns 30, they really start to not give a shit. And it's like, oh, wow. And now I'm experiencing it and I really don't.
You just have too much going on too.
I like to think that I have too much going on. Now that I'm a mom, it's like, okay, I understand why women say stay-at-home moms, that is the hardest job, because I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, this is the hardest job in the world.
It's just so funny to me that so many of our like Vanderpump Rules stars are now moms.
I know. It's the sweetest thing to see, because, we've been through some hard times together, and then we kind of came out on top as a group, and just, having friendships like that, it exists off the show. So whether we're on a television show together and working together, like when the camera shut down, we still have our same, amazing friend group that's like family. So to see my friends become moms, it's really incredible to watch.
Have you guys given each other like any good advice, funny advice? I would imagine there would be a lot of funny advice going around.
There's a lot of funny advice. Brittany, she was asking us about how to go number 2 after you give birth, because it's not right down there, and the pushing, you're like, am I gonna bust my stitches? What's happening? So our advice to her right now is about that, and how to give Cruz his first sponge bath. Those are the 2 things that we've given advice to Brittany about so far.
Now, the show has been picked up again. We know Vanderpump Rules is coming back. So what can you tell us? What do you think the dynamic is going to be now that you guys are moms?
I wish that I knew what it was going to be like. We just started filming, and there's been 2 years of, I think, pent up energy and things that people have said about each other. And because of the pandemic, we haven't really gotten to see each other. So I think it's going to be so interesting, because we have Sheena and myself who are moms now, and I don't know about her, but I like to think that I'll be softer. I also thought that I would be softer after I got sober, and I still was clapping back at all these bitches. So who knows what to expect.
I feel like you will be that, maybe you'll be the mother to other people. Like we kind of saw that with James Kennedy. You kind of took over and was kind of like a mothering role when you guys were good. So maybe
right.
Something like that.
Maybe. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.